everyone, and welcome back to our Golden 20s. My name is Teagan, and I'm joined with my co-host, Sadie.
Hello.
And we are here to catch up, tell you about our lives, because behind the scenes, it's actually been a while since we've recorded, just because May was a little crazy. So we're going to catch up. And we also wanted to kind of touch base with June goal setting and that kind of thing, because it is the halfway point of the year.
Yeah. It's been, I don't even know how many weeks since we recorded. Like the beginning of May, I want to say the first 2 weeks of May were crazy with podcast stuff.
Yeah.
Then we took like 2 weeks off. Both of us traveled a little bit. Tegan went on her big Hawaii trip, which we will definitely talk about in our life catch-up segment. But it's been probably 2 weeks since we recorded.
Yeah.
And you guys had no idea. You're just like listening along.
That's the magic of Hollywood.
Oh, yes. Okay. So and also it's been like that long since we've seen each other.
Yeah.
So I think we're definitely due for a life catch up. Tag, do you want to start by telling us what's been going on in your life?
Yeah. So as Sadie said, I just came back from my honeymoon, which was awesome. We spent all of the honeymoon fund, which I think is the goal.
Yeah.
To spend all the money.
The fact you had a honeymoon fund is respectable to me.
Yeah.
Like,
we were
like,
organized.
Yes.
So yeah, we did Disneyland. We visited Honolulu in Hawaii. And we did some stuff in LA, and it was so much fun. I feel like we did a lot of like the stereotypical Hawaii things. Most of our time was spent just like drinking tropical drinks on the beach.
The best.
And we made an effort to like swim every single day in the ocean. And we got massages. The most expensive massage I've ever had in my entire life, but it was so good.
It's coming from the honeymoon fund. It's fine.
Yeah, it was about half the honeymoon fund. But it was like outside in a jungle. So you could like hear birds and you could hear the waves of the ocean.
I love that. Yeah,
and they did a traditional lomi lomi massage, which is a Hawaiian massage. So it was great. I like fell asleep. So then I was sad that I like missed part of it, but it was
right. But that's how relaxed you were. So
yeah.
I feel they did their job.
Exactly. We did horseback riding in the valley where they filmed Jurassic Park.
Love it.
And I did a booze cruise. And I don't even know what else.
Oh my gosh.
Had a lot of fun.
What else is there left to do? I feel you did it all. That's amazing.
Exactly. Yeah. Spent a lot of time tanning.
Yeah, you're very tan right now. Like, I opened my door to let her. We're recording in person today, and I opened my door and I was like, "Oh my gosh, you were so tan."
Yeah, there are parts of me like I'm still working on like I have like a tan, like a farmer's tan or like a dad tan. Like I still need like one more good beach day to get like a summer tan. But I'm working on it. Like the UV in Hawaii is crazy. Like in Toronto on a sunny, hot day, like we had a sunny day this weekend, the UV went up to like 9 because it's on a scale of 1 to 10. In Hawaii, every day it's 12 or 13.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it's actually kind of intense.
Yeah.
But if you tan like me.
Yeah. I was going to say, that sounds like my worst nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah. Certain people in our group did not love that part, but.
Your husband included.
Yes. Yeah. He got burnt, but that's okay.
Yeah. Still sounds like an amazing time. And that was like your first big trip since the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Like you've done.
Since before. I mean, the last big trip we did was Hawaii in 2019 where I got engaged. Like, we've done little weekend trips. We went to Nashville and New York, but they've always been short flights, local.
Not like a vacation.
No, not like, you know, you pack a massive suitcase and you get sand in all your clothes and everything. So
the best.
Yeah. I also discovered the perfect flight film. And I thought I should share this good news with you all. And it's When Harry Met Sally.
A classic.
Yeah. And I was just like the first flight I went on, because it takes a long time to get to Hawaii. And we were taking multiple flights to get there. First flight, I'm excited. I'm like, I'm back on a plane. Let's watch a movie. Harry Met Sally. Let's go. First off, scenes take place on a flight. I don't know why, but I think that's fun. If you're on a plane, they're on a plane.
I feel like planes are a good meet cute. Like if you're single watching this on the plane, you're like main character energy, like to the max, 100%.
Exactly. There's also like no crazy action because it's really hard to see, obviously, like when you're on a plane. Like that movie's just all talking.
Yeah.
So it's like almost like you're listening to an audiobook.
Meg Ryan's 90s fashion.
Yes.
Doesn't get better
hair,
than that.
Oh my God. I want her hair, but his outfits from that movie. Anyways. And in that movie, there's all the seasons. So I feel like no matter when you're traveling, you'll get like the vibes and get hyped. Yeah. It's not too short, not too long, tight 90, the ideal movie length. So I just wanted to share that with everyone.
So good.
Yeah.
I love When Harry Met Sally. I feel like I went a large portion of my life thinking I had seen it. And then a few years ago, I was like, you know what? I actually don't really remember this movie. And then I watched it and I was like, I actually don't think I've seen this before. And now it's like one of those kind of classic, you've got mail type vibes, you know?
Meg Ryan was killing it.
I just heard she's going to be in a new movie coming out next year. A new like chick flicky, back to her roots type. So
classic.
I'm pumped for that.
Yeah. So
I love
that was a highlight of my trip.
When Harry Met Sally. Love it.
Yeah. And outside of that, like it is my birthday.
Yay.
So I always feel like it falls on like a perfect time of year just because June is the best, but also because it's halfway through the year. So it's like the perfect time to revisit my goals.
Yeah, I love that. And I feel like that's what we're actually going to talk about in the second half of this is just that halfway check-in, mid-year check-in type thing. Yeah. And then also talking about some June goals. Yeah. So amazing. I love that.
So that's what's been going on with me. How about you, Sadie?
Yeah. My life has not been near as exciting as yours. I have not had any fancy massages, gone horseback riding, or anything. But I do want to say that when we were recording and talking about our May goals and we came up with the whole main character May thing, girl, that was so liberating for me for the whole entire month. And I just kept coming back to it as if it was like my mantra for the month. And it was just like, my day-to-day stayed the same as March and April. And I remember coming on the podcast and being like, March was fine. April, it was fine. Like nothing spectacular. It was fine. May, I did probably the exact same things I did in March and April. But mentally, I was like, this is the best. Like, just even the smallest things. I just was like, I'm exuding main character energy right now and loving this more than I normally would. So it was a really great month for me. And the whole kind of mindset shift really stemmed from as soon as we landed on the theme of main character May, or kind of like that little catchy catchphrase, you know what I mean? I just like sat down with my journal and I was like, my life is fantastic. And yet I get up every day, I do the same things, and I just don't view it as anything special, you know? But when I really think about it, all the main characters that I see in movies, I'm always like, oh, they have such a cute apartment. Oh, they have such a cute, like, fluffy cat. Oh, they have such cool friends. Oh, they live in the city. Oh, this main character has a podcast. Like, those are all literally things that I do and have. And, like, you know, I work a cool job in, like, digital marketing. Like, I have like a nail girl. I have a personal trainer. Like, I'm not trying to like brag or anything. And I'm sorry if it's coming off that way. It was just like that wake up call I needed to be like, why isn't this enough for me? Like, why am I not viewing my life as enough? So I just flipped a switch internally and I was like, you know what? Hell yeah. Like, yeah, my apartment is cute.
Yeah.
You know? Like, whatever it was. So it was extremely liberating. And I feel like that really helped make May an amazing month. Outside of that, I also spent a lot of time with family, which was so nice. I spent 5 days in Quebec. I spent most of those days in Montreal with one of my sisters. And then my other sister lives outside of Montreal. So we spent a day with her, which was really great. Then I spent a week with my parents and then a weekend with my grandparents celebrating their 40th anniversary. So that was just so fun. It was my parents and both my sisters were there. Their boyfriends weren't really around, so it was literally just like the core 5 family and my grandparents, which rarely happens since my sisters live so far away. But it was just so nice. And I don't know. Again, it was just like the most simple moments. And I was like, this feels so good, you know? Last thing that I was really pumped about before I left for my trip, basically I spent the first weekend of May at my apartment. Then every other weekend I was away with family. And that weekend that I was here, I was like, I'm going to set up my balcony. Like, it's probably too early. It's definitely too early to get plants because it still drops like pretty low temperature wise, like in terms of like frost and whatnot, like killing plants. I don't know. I was like, it's a little early to be setting this up. But I did it, and I'm so glad I did, because the time I was like at my apartment between going from Montreal to my parents' house and whatnot and coming back after last weekend or whenever that was, I'm losing track of time already, just going out on my balcony just like always centers me. Like, I like to start my mornings out there just like having coffee and just like waking up. Love to like spend my evenings out there generally eating dairy-free ice cream and journaling or like reviewing my agenda. And it's just, again, the most simple thing, but it just brings me so much joy, and I feel like a main character out there. So all of this is to say my life has been full of simple moments that I've been really embracing, and I'm feeling good.
I love that.
Yeah. May was not an up and down month, like I said, through March and April. It was just kind of like an up and up month, you know?
Yeah.
But again, all due to my mindset. Like, I don't know. I was having epiphanies left, right, and center. Like, how much power our minds have. It's so weird. But
yeah.
It
is crazy because it's something we've talked about, how kind of a curse of being ambitious is that the thing, as soon as you reach the thing that you're working towards, you're like, okay, that's done. What's the next thing? Like, it's hard to sit and celebrate all of the things that you've achieved.
Yep. And I'm always, you guys know me, every month I show up on here and I'm like, these are my goals. I never enjoy the ride. And I was in this webinar on Monday, and it was about like leadership, and from this like top kind of woman at Microsoft, and somebody asked her, what would you do differently in your career? And her answer was, I would stop and smell the roses along the way. And I was like, ooh, just how she spoke to it. I was like, I don't want to be her age, like at that point in my career and have those same thoughts, you know, like I'm still young. I can still enjoy the ride. Like, I have this awareness about myself. Now I just need to choose to, I don't know, stop and smell the roses, I guess, not just chase all those goals. So that's what I did for May, and that's what I hope to continue to do for June as well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, should we talk about more specific goals, since as we said, like, this is halfway through the year, perfect time to revisit the goals you set in January, figure out how's it going. Are you still working towards your goals? This is always a point where I'm like, wait, what goals did I even set? So it's good to go back. Like, we can go back in our notes, or if you journal, you can go back and take a look. And I think it's also good, like, if there are goals that maybe you aren't going to achieve, that's fine. It's also a good time to be like, okay, so why am I not able to achieve these? Or why is that goal no longer important to me?
Totally. And I feel like people kind of like are intimidated to set goals because they don't want to let themselves down. But it's like, you're not letting yourself down. Like, you have no way to like look into the 12 months ahead of you in January to know exactly how life is going to go. And like, it's just going to work out perfectly for you to like achieve all the goals you set. Like, life throws curveballs at us all the time, and needing to readjust your goals is not ever failure. Like, it's not ever, oh, I didn't accomplish that, like, I'm gonna be so hard on myself or whatever. It's just, no, we pivot. You know?
And I find with goals too, it's like everything. The more you do it, the more you set goals, the easier it is, because you understand the kind of goals to set. Like, I remember
that's true.
Last year I was like, I'm setting goals, and they were like the most stupid goals. Like, it would be like, lose 25 pounds. And it was like, what does that number mean? What's it going to take to achieve that goal? Why that goal?
That's
like,
true.
I couldn't answer any of those questions, but it was like, I was just writing it down. Then it's like, okay, that's a learning. So what are the goals that I'm setting this year? It's like, okay, I want to move my body more. Okay. That's better.
That's so true. I love that, like, perspective on it as well. So, Tag, talking about yearly goals, how do you feel like you're making out on your so far? Or do you feel like you need to kind of readjust some of what you had initially set out for 2022?
Yeah. Well, I feel like January for me is always a really strong month.
Yeah.
But it's because all you see is like goals, going to the gym, goals.
Yeah.
So I did a yoga challenge, that kind of stuff. And that was all successful. I did dry January, no problem. And after that point is when it's like the winter blues, I feel like really hit, especially if you live in a city that's as cold as Toronto. And so after that point, the priority was kind of on survival and on working. Like I spent a lot of time working, trying to figure out what I want to do with my work, trying to make moves there. And so I did that, but now it's like, okay, we're out of survival, time to recenter, figure out what I'm trying to do for the rest of my year and for this new year of my life now that my birthday's here.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to spend more time focusing on things outside of survival. My original goal in January was to kind of like simplify my life.
Oh, right.
And bring it back to like the simple things, kind of like what you were just talking about, what made your May so good.
Yeah. Girl, 10 out of 10 recommend.
Yeah. And so I'm trying to focus on that and not getting too burnt out. Like I could feel at the beginning of May, because it was like I was hurling towards this vacation or I had to have things in place because I'm going to be gone. I'm trying to get my work in a good place. It was like I was exhausted and I had physical issues from working that hard. Like I had a seized shoulder that like the doctors couldn't fix because it was from stress. I gave myself a sty because of stress. So it's like, okay, the goals are done. Let's bring it back to basics.
Yeah.
And so I found a new therapist who I really like.
That's good.
And she's been able to like actually give me diagnosis, which has also been a relief. So I'm hoping to use the work I've done in the first 6 months as my platform or foundation, and then build the fun stuff on top of that.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to look at it. And honestly, it sucks, but like sometimes you have to go through those kind of like hard learnings of, you know, physical like repercussions to your stress and whatnot for something to just trigger in your mind to be like, I need a change, you know? And you can then spend some time figuring out what is that change that I need? Like that wasn't working for me. What will work for me? Yeah. And I think that's totally fine. Yeah.
How about you, Sadie?
Yeah. So my 2022 was focused on being my year of wellness. And I feel like, I don't know, I actually think it's kind of what we were just talking about by being ambitious, by being, you know, like somebody who achieves my goals, but not enjoying the ride. Like I feel that actually kind of sums up my year to a T. Some of my biggest goals were to find a therapist, to work with a personal trainer consistently, and to do daily yoga. And I can like say I do all of these things still to this day, like 6 months into the year. I'm also using my habit tracker still to make sure I'm staying consistent with just like my daily healthy habits. So my year of wellness is happening. Yeah. But like I said, kind of like you, like those winter months and into March and April, I was just like, yeah, this is my life. Yeah. You know, I wasn't like, yes, girl, you go. You have, you know, like you're accomplishing all these tasks. You're doing all these goals. Like you're killing it. It was just like, yeah, but what's next? So, one other thing that I wanted to mention on top of kind of like the personal kind of wellness was I've also been feeling a little like down in the dumps about work. And it's just been like a bit of an emotional roller coaster this year as I got settled into a new job. So I also joined a social club, which if you're in Toronto, you might be familiar with them, Monday Girl. And I'm just so excited about it. And I feel like it's been helping me also get excited about my career again, where it's like that ambitious side of me and like that career oriented side of me is never going to go away. So let's lean into it, but in a positive way. And, you know, I have a therapist to talk about kind of my personal life, and we talk a lot about work and like, you know, not caring so much, finding balance, whatever. But it's also like, I just need to meet more like-minded people. Like, I need those networking events and whatnot to get me excited and, like, I don't know, just passionate again. So I feel like that was also kind of an action I took on my year of wellness that wasn't initially like a focus at the beginning of 2022. But all of this being said, I'm feeling good mentally and physically too, but I feel like I need to enjoy the ride more. So a big bucket of my year of wellness was all about soul and like doing things to feed my soul, not just my mind and body. So that's kind of what my June goals are focused on, and kind of what I started in May as well. So that's really the focus on the second half of the year, is keep, like you said, keep those foundational parts of my routine and, you know, things I've accomplished so far this year going, but build on the fun stuff too.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So do you want to share some more specifics of what your soul goals are?
My soul goals? I would love to. So I remember saying this in May, like, it's just, I want to make plans with friends, you know, like I want to go out, do stuff. So this is really lame. And I probably already shared this like on the podcast, maybe at the beginning of the year, but I created like this little mini Toronto bucket list of things I haven't done in the city that I want to do. And it was under my soul bucket. So again, just exploring, socializing, whatever. But I'm starting to tick some of those things off the list in June and just adding some more fun things. Like I told Teagan right before we started recording, like I had a night earlier this week where I made like 3 different dinner reservations because I just want to like see different friends and like hold myself accountable to like going out, seeing people and feeding my soul. So that's really great. But I'm also going to a museum exhibit. I have some concerts coming up, the Lumineers concert, which I'm so excited about. I think it's the weekend of the week that this podcast episode drops. So I'm pumped about it. Teagan and I are going to MK Fit times Toronto. What is the
I don't know.
With collab. Either way, MK Fit, we're going to come work out with you in person. Like, it's just really fun things that I've like lined up for my month of June. And then another thing that I have kind of as a yearly goal, but I haven't started to work on, is consistently putting in the effort on my dating life. Sorry, my mouth just made a weird noise. On my dating life. I don't know, like I'll go on dates here and there, but it's not like consistent. And I'm like, you know what? No, I'm young, alive. This is what this main character is missing. So let's have that life experience. So I'm putting it as a June goal to hold myself accountable. It's also another great way to be social and explore the city. But on top of all of that, or not on top of, but because of all of that, I'm also starting to feel really anxious, even though the month has literally just begun. I'm in like my working hours. All I can think about is things I have to do outside of work hours.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Where I'm stressed. And it doesn't make sense because I'll be really busy at work and I'll be like just thinking about all the things I have to do after work, but I'm not actually working on my work tasks. So then I get stressed about those. Like, it's just such a mess, like mentally, I guess, in terms of like anxiety that way. So I have also created some goals for June focused on self-care. And again, that's just to really help me kind of keep that balance. So I have a goal to read 1.5 novels. And why I say 1.5 is because I'm already halfway through a book that I started in May. And I'm actually reading The Last Thing He Told Me. And I'm loving it. Have you read it before?
No.
I don't even know. It's kind of like family drama mystery-ish. But 10 out of 10 recommend. Yeah, I'd say halfway through. I read a chunk last night, so I might be more like 3/4 now because once I start, I can't like put it down. Every chapter ends kind of on a cliffhanger. But I want to finish reading that and then read another book. And then also, I mentioned this in May, but it just didn't work out with my schedule going to visit a whole bunch of family. But I want to try the yoga studio across the house. Across the road from my house. They have like a 2-week trial type thing. So I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Even if I only go once a week, it'll be, again, a really great way to get out and, of course, tend to my body and soul at the same time, and my mind. Yoga's a win-win.
All of it.
All of it. Yeah. So those are my June goals.
Love it.
Yeah. What about yours, Tay?
I feel like a lot of mine are similar. Like I am interested in maybe trying more fitness classes now that I feel a little safer doing so. Like I just got like a free month trial from ClassPass, which is what I used to use before the pandemic. So I'm like, maybe I should try that and see, because I moved. So new neighborhood, don't know what's up. And so I think I'm going to try that. I also need to continue on my reading goal. I'm currently 3 books behind, but I usually read more in the summer. And I'm in the same boat where I'm almost done the book I'm reading, which I'm reading Book Lovers by Emily Henry.
Oh, yeah.
It is so good.
Really?
So far.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like my favorite by hers.
Really?
By a lot. So actually, I think you'd like it, Sadie.
Yeah. I liked her other books. She did People You Meet on Vacation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Beach Read.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I liked Beach Read a lot.
Yeah.
People You Meet on Vacation was a slow burn, and then I feel it didn't really live up to what they were building up toward.
Yeah.
But it was still cute, you know? So I'm definitely going to read that.
Yeah.
Though, one of the YouTubers I watched just finished reading it, and she was like, honestly, not as good as I thought it was going to be. So then I was thrown. I was like,
interesting.
Wait, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to end. And they keep, like, in the book, they'll be like, sometimes you reach the ending of a book and it's not what you expect. So I'm like, girl, what are you going to throw at me? But
hopefully something. See, this is the thing. If she doesn't throw something, it's kind of like, People You Meet on Vacation, where it's building up to something that doesn't ever like even happen or isn't worth the build up. But
okay. But it's pretty good because it's like about a career woman who lives in New York.
Yeah. Love it
her
already.
boyfriends keep leaving her for like girls in small towns whose like parents run an inn. Okay. Like she's the other woman in all the cliched romance movies and novels. And she's like, is it because I own a Peloton? Is it because I bleach my hair? Like, what's the problem? And so
that's so funny.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
So all
and
this
it's
to
like
say.
New, right? Like it just came out. Yeah. I love it. Okay.
I got it for my vacation and then I just didn't read it because I was
You're busy doing all the other things.
Yeah. So working on that. Once I have that one done, I just need to read 2 more to be caught up on my goal. And I want to spend more time outside. Like this is where I do a lot of my reading. Yeah. And working on my garden.
Working on that summer tan you're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah. Trying to eat a little healthier. Like I feel like in the winter, as I said, it's like about survival. So it's like, yeah, I'm going to eat because I need to eat. That's the priority, not is what I'm eating the healthiest. Yeah. It's also just easier in the summer when everything's fresh. Yeah. Like,
nothing beats it.
Yeah. In Canada, it's harder.
Yeah. Like, I'm literally comfort foods in winters.
Yes.
Well, in winter. Sorry, I cannot talk today for some reason. I think I'm just so excited to be recording again.
Yeah.
Like, tripping over my words. But comfort foods in winter and then, like, smoothie and salads.
Yes.
In summer.
Yeah.
Like, there is no in between.
Yeah. Because even, like, our fruits and veggies, like obviously we can't grow that much in Canada in the winter. So it's like they all come from Mexico and from California, but then it's like by the time they get to us, it just doesn't taste as good. So it's like, are you motivated to eat healthy if it doesn't taste as good? No, you're not. So hopefully working on that. It's like almost strawberry season. Yeah. So excited for that. And just like taking it slow, trying to support my husband. He's in a band and they have like a very busy summer schedule coming up. And
that's so nice. I love how you have that as one of your goals.
Yeah. Because it's hard to, I feel like it's kind of weird to set a goal that's not about like me. And so it's kind of weird. Like I see my calendar and I see dates that aren't for me. Yeah. So it's like I could schedule something in there, but then it's like, no, I guess that's part of being married. Yeah. Is that it's like I'll leave it open so that I can be there to be supportive. So
yeah. And I feel like that's a good, like it's not about you, but it's you holding yourself accountable to being a good partner. And like that's the goal. So I think that's good.
Exactly.
I hope people are taking notes. How to be a good girlfriend / wife.
Yeah. And then, so now my big trip is done, which this was my final wedding event of the wedding that just would not die. Started May 2019. Here we are, June 2022 is over. So it's like, this is part of it. I want to focus on what my life looks like without that looming.
Without a honeymoon fund.
Where it's like, okay, we're not saving for a wedding. We're not saving for a honeymoon. We're saving to buy a Dyson vacuum or something.
I was like, girl, you already have the air wrap.
I needed something else.
Still Dyson though.
Yeah.
Brand fans
I'm loyal.
over here.
So I just want to continue to like improve my home. Work on my spring summer cleaning, my garden. And I also want to continue to like improve the podcast and improve our social content.
Yeah.
Like I feel like every time I work on it, I get better. But then it's so easy to every time something goes wrong, which for some reason in May, something went wrong with literally every single episode. Like, I don't know what was going on. Like, Mercury was in retrograde, but like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Literally every episode. Episodes where it's me recording, episodes where it's both of us together. Like,
yeah. It was also
not good.
Yeah. I think it was just the universe testing us since we did so much in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
That it was just like, well, if you can get through this, you can get through anything.
Yeah.
Here's a curveball. Like,
well, and it's like when you're like, okay, I'll edit these all at once. It'll be fast. It's like, no, you little idiot. And so it was just like, we got through. They sounded fine. It just took a lot more work and effort. And it's the same. Like I was posting more TikToks and then I'd look and they'd have spelling mistakes in them so they don't perform as well. And then it's like frustrating.
Yeah.
And there's part of you that's like, so why are we doing this?
Yeah.
But then at the same time, the next time I go to film a TikTok, I'm better at it. The next time we go to record, it sounds better.
Yeah.
And so I just want to continue to improve and hopefully continue with my motivation.
Yeah. I love that. I feel like it is a good, like you said, good time for your birthday, good like halfway point through the year. And with all your wedding events like wrapping up, like it is a very good time for you to just like chill and be like, what's next? Or just chill and be like, smell the roses. Like we were talking about, like hopefully you can just like fully relax and just, I don't know, live life.
Yeah. That's the plan for the summer. Like I have a lot of just like concerts and, the stuff that's like living in the moment. Planned.
Totally. I know I was thinking about June and I was like, you know what? I'm calling this summer my summer in the city. So basic, but it's like I don't have any big plans. Like just going to make the most of things around Toronto because there's a lot to do now that like things are open and whatnot. But I don't know.
I just want to live like a character in Sex and the City.
Yeah, I know. I was looking at my summer in the city. I was like, this is kind of a play on Sex and the City.
Yeah.
But the more like PG version, I guess.
Yes, yeah, true.
the
Charlotte version.
Yeah, the Charlotte version. I love that. Okay, well, that's all we have for today's episode. Really just a chatty life catch up. You guys didn't even probably know we had a catch up, but we did. So thank you guys so much for listening. And we encourage you to do a mid-year reflection, set some goals for June for yourself, and just set yourself up for a really great summer. But all of that being said, we drop a new episode every Tuesday. Still can't speak. And we do have some really fun summary type episodes coming up. So make sure you subscribe and follow us. Also rate us and leave a review if you feel so inclined. We would appreciate it so much. You can also find us on social media at Our Golden 20s. We are on TikTok. Like Teagan said, she's putting in the effort. Go support Teagan on TikTok, please. Instagram, we have some great Pinterest boards, especially for the summer season. Things to do, what to wear, you name it. You can find it on our Pinterest. And we're also on Patreon, which is the best way to support the podcast for as little as $2 a month. All that being said, we hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we will talk to you next Tuesday.
Bye.